Hey, we're live.
Yep, we are. Sorry for the delay, folks. Technology is fun.
RJ didn't break anything. RJ forgot to restart her computer before um, today because I just wasn't on my personal computer today. Um, so I didn't do a restart, and then my mic, I'm not using my normal mic. So if I sound weird, it's because I'm literally using my AirPod Max. So if I sound weird, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I will do that restart later. So
Yes. So we're here, and it's Thursday, and that's fun.
it is. Not that I want to poke the bear or anything, but RJ, how many build cards do you have coming now?
I have four. I have four Bilt cards that are coming to my house. I have shipping information for four different cards. So that's fun. That's gonna be really, really fun. I don't
Yes.
know which one is gonna actually work. I don't know if all of them are gonna work. I don't know if all of them are connected to my account. So when like I pay for things if it's going to like go to me. I do not have four individual cards coming. Like they're all supposed to be for a single account. It is not like I applied four times.
Be real funny if it was. Also, hello everyone. Juan, Stinky Monkey Baby, James, Tampa Travel, Mike, uh, Daddy Vroom. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thanks to all of our members. Um, in the wait, I poured myself a drink, part Orange County Distillery maple whiskey,
Nice.
and the other part is Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar Cream Soda.
Also
So
nice.
I have something very nice to sip on while we do this.
So fun fact, or not fun fact, fun thing that happened. So I went out to dinner last night with my parents for my mom's birthday. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that was a couple of days ago, and I had so I don't usually get non-alcoholic cocktails because I just don't use. They're becoming much more popular,
Mm-hmm.
and I had what they call a Nai Tai, which is basically a Mai Tai without the alcohol. It was actually really good. Like they're stepping their game up, and it was nice. I mean, it was $10, which is not cheap, but like compared to the alcoholic beverages that other people got at dinner, like it was much cheaper than getting alcohol. So it was nice. I had something really nice to uh, sip on, and it was cheaper than getting whiskey. So I won on both sides. And it was a Resi restaurant, so I got to offload all of my Resi for the year so far.
There you go. Source King, everybody got invited to the built party except me. It's like I'm back in high school. Well, Source King, let me comfort you in I'm not bothering with the built party in
Matt's
any
skipping
way,
it.
shape, or form.
He RSVP'd to the negative.
Yeah, I RSVP'd no.
I wanted to, and then life was like, and then a child saw Matt's raccoon hands, um, and it was what it was. Um, Sleepy Rod, it was emailed to me. They emailed me a link and said, "Hey, you want this card?" And I said, "Sure do." And they said, "Here you go." So thank you, American Express, for knowing my weaknesses. I am in the positive. I got my Rakuten distribution, so I am back into the positive for MR points, which is nice. I also today I did a thing, Matt, that is going to benefit this here podcast, um, but that is also for me. I bought a NAS. I bought a Synology. I was
Nice.
talking about it a little bit in the Discord. Shout out to the Discord. If you want to join, go to stackyourpoints.com. Um, but I bought a NAS, which helped with a solid third of my, or a solid fourth of my sub. Because, dear God, are disk drives expensive for storage? but I will have about 10.5 gigs after I do all of the raid and swap and all of that stuff. Um, so I will be able to have stack your points. I will be able to actually keep everything because I was running out of space to do that. And I will be able to sort it, which it is not sorted very well right now. So I will set all of that up, and I'll be able to, if we record Monday night and then I'm going somewhere, or if we're doing something else and like, hey, my power went out, Matt, can you do this? Everything will be on a Synology. I can make logins.
Okay.
And then somebody can grab the information, or if Craig is doing some social media stuff or however we do things, and it's like, hey, just put it here, and then we can grab it and do it. So I am super excited. Pardon me, I am super excited that I will have that option. Um, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So it helped with the sub. It was something I've been putting off for a while. It was one of those like, if I have a sub, I'll do it, or I'll do it like 4th of July when it kind of goes on sale. Like it was sort of whatever happens first, it's gonna happen. I knew I've known for a while I needed one. Um, it's a 4-bay. Um, it's a 4-bay Synology. My stepdad, so I rent half of my parents' house. My stepdad has a NAS. It is not a Synology. His company went out of business, so he likes his, so he's clinging to it a little bit.
I
Um,
assume it's a Drobo.
it is a Drobo. He loves it. He absolutely loves it. I respect that. I wanted the Synology because I wanted the software. Um, so they should play kind of nice together, hopefully. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to having that ability and being able to move things. Um, my Mac does not like his Drobo, like on the wireless. It does not like connecting to it regularly. So I will finally have a place to dump some things. So very much looking forward to the process.
Nice. I also did a thing, but not a thing um for the show or my channel. I have like this 8 terabyte external hard drive that I kind of will just dump everything onto after I'm sort of like done with everything. So I
Mm-hmm.
take everything from my downloads, I take everything from my movies, I shove it onto that and just leave it alone. um
Fair.
because yeah. What I did was I signed up for a free Whoop and a free year of Whoop because Chase has decided to give folks a free year of Whoop.
Yes. Yeah, I saw you mention that. Um, I I am getting a Costco. There
Mm-hmm.
will be a Costco about an hour away from this summer. I'm like, some women have where their knuckles are actually bigger than their like where their rings go.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like buying rings without physically trying them on. Um, so I don't want to get an Aura ring because I have an Apple Watch. I wear it when I'm home. I don't always wear it when I'm out in the world
Right.
because I don't always want to wear both of my watches in the world, depending on what I'm doing. So I'd like the idea of an Aura ring because I can just wear it all the time, right? Like it can track me all the time, and I have the platinum, so I have that credit. Um, so I'm interested in the idea of getting one, but I want to try it on. And um, Costco tends to have a physical, like, here's all of the sizes of the ring, try it on.
Right.
So I would be able to go to the Costco, presumably try it on, know exactly what size I want, and then order it. So that might be my summer plan. Um, so yeah, so I'm interested in that. Is the Whoop only on the Sapphire Reserve? Is that where the credit? Because I saw you talking about the Whoop. I did not dig too far into it. Work was nuts today.
So the Whoop, the life membership that comes with the band, the device, the band, um, the charger, a lifetime warranty, and the membership, and like without the membership, it's effectively just a paperweight. Um,
Right.
all of that is on the Sapphire Reserve. The Sapphire Reserve will give you $359 cash back if you sign up for it. The package before taxes and fees and everything is $359. So you get the price of the membership and the device basically for free. You would have to pay taxes. You would have to pay shipping. There are codes that would allow you to like offset the taxes and fees. Some folks were talking about how the codes may disrupt your ability to get the cash back, which doesn't make sense because this just came out today. This just launched today, and they're already talking about charges posting when no charges could have posted yet. So we'll see. I'm thinking it's Chase's answer to Amex. The thing that's interesting is this isn't being listed as a credit. This is a cashback offer from Chase Offers.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna get your points. You're gonna get the points for it. You're only getting 359 points, but you're also going to get the cashback routed back to you. I'm curious to see if this is the beginning of a Whoop credit or additional lifestyle or wellness credits from Chase,
Mm-hmm.
because they brought back for the second year in a row the Calm subscription.
Mm-hmm.
That is 100% cash back. They're doing Pronovo, which just sounds sort of scammy. This other company that also sounds sort of scammy and
A lot,
Calm,
a lot of
and what do
wellness
you call it?
companies
Oh, a
are
lot of wellness
like
companies are scams.
BetterHelp has had a lot of issues.
Yep.
A lot of other like online therapy platforms, a lot of like journal your deepest thoughts and we're gonna mine you for like your information. Like there's a lot of things out there um, that are not great. Um, so yeah, I get somewhat hesitant. Um, like I use some apps for like I have a water tracking app, I have a calorie tracking app.
Mm-hmm.
Just because if I have to remember how much protein I've eaten in a day, I'm not going to remember that. So like I need to put it somewhere. Um, but yeah, those other platforms make me a little nervous.
Yep.
Um, Daddy Room, they will, but you have to buy the ring. So I don't want to purchase the ring in full, get the kit, find out that I just don't have a good sizing option, and then have to do a return or have that on my card or whatever. I rather physically go make sure the size is going to work for me and
Mm-hmm.
then place the order. That way, if it just ring sizes for me are just odd, like just because of my hands, which happens. So some rings fit me great, and then I've had other rings where I've tried every half size, every full size, and it just hasn't worked. So for me, I just want to kind of physically try them on before I spend any money, even if I'm going to get credit. If it was for the full cost of the ring, that would be a little bit different, but it's for like 200 of the 300 and something on the four.
Yeah.
So, um, for me, I'm gonna try it on. It is a good idea, and are if your hands tend to be pretty predictable sizing, it probably is a very good idea. Um, with me, my knuckles have just I have a family history of like knuckle issues, arthritis and stuff, and I think after 25, 30 years of just typing all the time, because I started typing as a wee small child. Um, I think my hands just have the knuckle issues, but good idea. But yeah, I think I'm of two minds, right? Like the Peloton credit and the stuff like that. I think because it's such a high priced sort of niche item, they can feel like cool, a credit I am never going to use, right? Like the fitness credit on the platinum is just not something I'm ever going to use. But in theory, something like a Whoop or something like an Aura Ring, I could in theory use, right? Like that is something where it's a little more accessible in terms of it's not so much location based, right? Like yes, you have some home stuff, but if you don't have a bike, for example, it's not going to help. But a tracker, something you wear. Now, you know what would be interesting, Matt? A credit for an Apple Watch on a other card that's not the Apple card.
That would be sweet. I don't know that that's going to come anytime soon.
No, but like I could speak, and the only reason I say that is because Apple and Chase are partnering for the Apple Card,
Yep.
and they already have the credit for TV music, or music something, whatever.
TV music.
TV music. Okay, I was right. So I could see them wanting you to buy it, but not wanting you to get the 0% APR. So being like, hey, if you use your Sapphire, we'll give you $100 off the new Apple Watch in September. I could see them doing something like that and have it be something. Keith, I agree. Matt agrees. We think it's dumb. We think you should just get make it just an Apple store. Like, I don't care if you buy a game. I don't care if you use Apple One. Like, I can understand why they want it from a servicing perspective. But yeah, I think it's, yes, I know it does have that subscription. I pay more for less. So for me personally, that isn't my biggest concern, but it is definitely like having to pay a software fee for hardware is annoying and I don't like it.
Yeah. And your credit doesn't even cover the
No.
subscription, which is annoying. Also, hey Chad. Yeah, Whoop is Chase. It seems to be Chase's response to Aura. We'll see what happens. Like, we're just getting this for the first time, so it's $359, sort of like as a one-off. If they expand, and the way it read on the Whoop Red site the way it read on the Whoop website, made it seem like this is the beginning of potentially a long-term partnership, but who knows? Stinky Monkey Baby asked, Matt, have you already talked about what other issuer cards you're likely applying for this year? I've got nothing in the barrel right now. Like, if there's an elevated world, if there's a premium World of Hyatt card, maybe. If there is a reason to apply for a United card with the expansion of the Blue Sky partnership, maybe. But right now, I got nothing that I really have to go after. And John asked how you got emailed, just straight up NLL.
Yeah, I've never gotten one before, so I was the Super Bowl. I think that Amex saw that I got a Bilt card and they're like, no, we can't have this. Like, no. We must bring her in. But yeah, it was cool. Also, my American Express Gold card has shipped and they're just like, hey, we're gonna be normal about this. So that's nice.
Keith says he's probably going to cancel his Sapphire Reserve because he's got the Sapphire Reserve for business. Again, I think there's going to be a card that comes in between the Sapphire Preferred and the Sapphire Reserve. There's too much of a gap. So maybe that card would work better for you. I don't think that the Sapphire Reserve credits are bullshit, but I get it.
Here's the thing. I don't think there is a single personal card that Keith should probably have over the business version of it because of his spend profile.
Yeah.
Like, and I say this as somebody who has talked to Keith a lot and seen a lot of what Keith does. He is a businessman. Like, there is no business, right? Like, and I think that and obviously have a personal card, but like, it becomes a situation where your lifestyle, Keith, is so different than what most personal cards are geared for that it just doesn't help you, right? So, yeah. Maybe, John. Amex is in a weird subby place right now. Like, somebody said they got a 300,000 business platinum offer and then people are getting 40K platinum offers. It's weird. I heard. You know what, Filmo? I believe in you. I believe. Just go to Keith's mom. I'm sure she's got one she can pass off to you. But yeah, no, and now, Matt, we can talk about this for a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to do with the business gold because that renews in April.
Mm-hmm.
Dining is now covered for me, right? Like it was 3x on the green, but it was 4x on the gold, so I was just using the gold. I have dining covered. My mom just got a Delta Gold, so she's got that sub to work on. So she's putting groceries on that, so we're not using it for groceries. Thank you for becoming a member. But sort of the reason, like I use the gold card or business gold for Apple because it's software. And if I get any subscriptions, like tech subscriptions that will be software coverage, I put it on there, but that's not really a reason to keep the business gold. But then there's rumors that they might refresh it, and the refreshes sound really good. Though OpenAI is putting ads in things now and doing some things that I don't really love, so I don't know if I want that chat GTP. You know what I mean? Like I don't know where the business gold falls now. Like I
Well,
was getting rid of it before any refreshes were going to happen. So I don't know.
are the ads even in the pro subscription that you're paying $20 a month for?
I think it's a lower, but my problem is more functional than it is will I see ads. The idea that they're going to a model where they're putting ads in things like that from a user standpoint bothers me.
Yeah, but that's just because they're burning so much money.
They are. But you understand, like it's
Yeah.
not will I see ads. It is the fact of how they're implementing, like they're charging people like charge people more. You know what I mean? Like if you're that hung up on it, and if it was on the free tier only, but I think it's on like the one they're putting under the $20 limit.
Oh, they're putting in a new tier to get
I
people to
want
pay.
to I want to say it's like $8 a month, but it will have ads.
Not great.
So I'm torn on the idea of, do I want to keep the business gold? I really don't want to play the upgrade downgrade with the business gold and like go and get a business green. I mean, there is that. Um, I really don't want to downgrade to the business green just because I don't have any, like that card is literally useless. Um, I don't know. I think the business gold, even though if it comes to what I think it might, I might get some value out of it. I think the business gold is going to shuffle off this mortal coil.
Well, you can always downgrade it and get an offer to upgrade it back. So there's always that. Um, yeah, they should be charging enterprise significantly more than what they're charging right now. The corporate is 200, like
It's
their tier
200 a month.
system. Their
Yeah,
tier system is not nearly enough.
no.
Like they've got to revamp their tier system for sure. And like 100,000 employee companies should not be paying $200 a month for ChatGPT.
No.
That is not nearly enough.
But yeah, I could downgrade and want an upgrade offer. I don't know if I want to play that on that side. I just I'm torn. I'm leaning towards, and I mean, look, if next month, right, they say, "Hey, this is the refresh and I love it," then that's easy, right? But the problem is because I think I technically renew March 31st. So basically April will be my deciding. I don't think it's going to renew by April.
I mean, you're probably going to be fine just giving it a maybe not extending it another year. You can always just cancel it and then if the refresh comes and it's worth $4.95 to you, then just reapply for it. Skip the bonus because you're gonna you may or may not get a bonus, but if you don't get a bonus, that's sort of a card based on the credits that sounded like, you would be fine with or without a welcome offer.
Yeah, because it also, like, if I just close the card and then reapply, I'm not really hurting myself. Like, I'm just paying the annual fee. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that might be what happens. But I'm cautiously optimistic on the gold card in a couple of ways I wasn't a year or so ago, for just life. So that's exciting. And yeah, so now I am back to having the 3 personal charge cards with Amex again. 2 of them are definitely sticking around. So yeah, looking forward to that. I have a lot of trips coming up in the first part of the year.
I've got nothing right now. So
And yeah, this is what makes me nervous. There have been a lot of reports on the business cards just not getting upgrade offers anymore, or at least very, very sporadically.
anytime they want to turn on their potato gun of points and magic, they will.
The thing is, I put so much spend through Amex that they know they have me.
Yep.
And I don't want to put the spend elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not worth it to do that. So I'm putting a lot through Bilt right now because I'm trying to get that sub so I can do the things and then be done with them. But maybe I'll get my physical card and actually use my physical card once before it goes into stock drawer.
Probably not.
Mike, thank you so much, Mike.
Whoa.
That is incredibly generous. Matt is going to have so many names to read this week.
That's fine. I can live with that.
I love that Matt is now, so what it does is it just gives it randomly out. So Matt, you are now a subscriber to this channel.
Hooray! You're
Thank
gifted a
you,
channel
Mike.
membership. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
That
was incredibly generous. If you are a new member, please go to stackyourpoints.com and join the Discord. We do a ton in the Discord. And that really is, we do a lot of polls. We do a lot of workshopping. If you're a silver, gold, or diamond member, there's a couple of channels that are only available to those members to be able to chat in or get the updates when the members only videos go up or when the the videos go up before they're public. I did yeah, this is not fun for you, Keith. I am sorry. I put the full video out this week and we've gotten fairly good numbers on it. I go back and forth on how people actually want to watch us. So there are 42 people in here right now. I'm assuming at least half of you have watched our show regularly. So I am putting it to all of you. Because I ask these things in the Discord always, but sometimes we get different demographics of people on our live than we do regularly in the Discord. So I'm asking all of you, do you guys like when we do just put the full video out on Wednesday and don't worry about it? I'll watch what I want to watch. Do you guys like topics one day and Q&A a different day? Do you like the mini videos? I know our lives always do the best. That is without a doubt. Lives are going to be something, I think, not focused to the exclusion of the show, obviously, but something that we're going to look at seeing how things go. But how do you guys like to watch us? Do you like the full thing? Do you like sort of the shorter videos? We get fairly good engagement when it comes to like our video. Like, I'll put out a 2.5 hour video and we'll get an average of 45 minutes, which means a lot of people are clicking off after a minute and a lot of people are staying to the entire thing, which is impressive. So that is something I need to know. Keith, full video with chapters and descriptors. I did that this week. I put in everybody's question. I put in our topics. The chapter headings are shorter just because if you put too much there, it can clutter it up. But I did put in the description everything so you could see what the things meant. But yeah, I'd like to know because we can guess, we can ask each other. But asking you guys is always another vote for the full video. Yeah, we do have an audio feed. So that is always an option if you're in the car. Non-live videos under 20 minutes. Yeah, that's one of the things that I am always I'm always cognizant of is if our videos are too long, do people just see the timestamp that it's 2.5 hours and just tune out? So I do get nervous about that. Triple stack points for flowers. No, as the lady of the podcast, I do not think it's less romantic if you triple stack. I do that for birthdays. Like my grandmother's birthday, when I do flowers, I stack.
If you want to do your welcome offer and your additional Rakuten points that you can do however you're going to do, I know it's 30% on Rakuten right now for 1-800-Flowers. Whatever. I didn't bother with flowers. I'm just sending them a gift card that I purchased through a means. I am so not doing the disclosure tonight, guys. So not mentioning it. But I did that, and I got 3.2 miles per dollar and 2x on my active cash. I put up a poll through the Stack Your Points live on the YouTube side. So it's should we just do the pod in one video? I gave options of I like this. The Wednesday Friday is better. Bring back the Monday Tuesday minis, and just an option of click click click, because you don't really care how we do it. You just want to participate in the survey,
which I respect. I do. There are timestamps on the longer videos. All of the videos should have timestamps. The ones from last summer do not have them, and I can't really add them without completely redoing the videos. So if there isn't a timestamp on it from like 6 months ago, I'm sorry. But all of the ones in the last probably 3 or 4 months definitely have them. So here's a little inside baseball on how YouTube works. So one of the reasons that I stopped doing Monday, Tuesday is because those videos, because they're a single topic, didn't necessarily get a consistent number of hits. YouTube has a problem with that. If one video gets 500 hits and the next video that comes out gets 20, YouTube can penalize you with that, with how much they put you as, hey, you liked this content, watch this. So that's one of the things that I am thinking about while we're doing this is simply, I don't want to do things you guys don't like, because if we only get 100 hits on something, that fundamentally changes how YouTube works our algorithm. So I'm trying to make everybody happy and also make YouTube happy, because that's part of it. Yeah, the longer format is nice because if you want to just skip a section, if one of the topics or one of the questions doesn't appeal to you, you can, and you don't have to wait. So yeah, so I use Overcast. The timestamp should also work on that. So if you're listening on a podcast player, you should be able to go to the description, click on the timestamp to jump around as well. If you're driving, you might not be doing that, but there are chapters that should still work for you, because I do that heavily when I listen to podcasts. If I'm not into something, I'm not going to listen to it, even in a show that I like. So, but yeah, we're experimenting with things. We're experimenting with always doing the Thursday live and maybe having a couple of targeted smaller lives. We're experimenting with a couple of different things. So we'll see. But I did want to bring that up, because we are, as much as they're not always the most fun thing to create. Shorts are something that I'm trying to figure out how to do. Like, I know how to make them. That is basically what 2-minute points and miles is. But to do them from our podcast is a pain in several orify. So, because you have to have context and it can be a pain. So we're looking into that as well, because that will get us out to just different people, a different audience.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things. Last week, one of the questions is goals or ideas or thoughts about 2026 for Stack Your Points. So I've been thinking about it a lot. But yeah, so we're chugging along. We're doing things. I have 2 deliveries on their way to my house. Those deliveries have Stack Your Points merch in them, which, if everything checks out, will go live very soon. Hopefully by the end of the month, you will have the ability to do things and purchase things if you so choose. If you don't, guess what? The show itself is free. Like, we put it out every week, whether you pay us or not. We do this, whether you pay us or not. That's not going to change, right? Like, the main show and this is not going to be charged. There are some things that are member only. There are some things that are exclusive stuff, but overall, the main meat and potatoes of the show is always going to be free. Might be delayed, but still free. And
Yep.
hi, double. Thank you for joining us. So yeah.
And I just verified the timestamps in Overcast do work to jump around. The other thing that we can do with Underlord in Descript is Underlord can put in chapters.
It can, but I edit again in Final Cut.
Okay.
So what I do, I actually use the chapters to find the chapters because it is not perfect.
Right.
So what I'll do is I'll take the chapters, put them on Obsidian. So I'm editing. I have a general idea of where to start my search for the correct chapter. I usually don't just use those because usually they can be either early or late, or sometimes they will create another chapter that isn't a Q&A question or a topic question. We talked about this subtopic for 2 minutes inside of the question, so it'll create a chapter for that. So our format show, it doesn't do perfectly. I totally understand why for our format show it doesn't do it perfectly. But I do use that as my template when I start editing. I use Descript and Final Cut, and then I use Handbrake because if I didn't, they would be rendering until Friday morning because they usually come out about 72 gigabytes for the full show.
Yeah, I've stopped using Final Cut. I found that Descript is well enough, and it's still going to be a monster of a download.
Yeah, I like certain things that I can do in Final Cut. Certain, like, I do a filter to try to equalize our sound. I do a filter to equalize the lighting of the 4 of us to try to make it more normalized. I have the Apple Creator Bundle. I'm going to try to run our audio through Logic to see if I can start equalizing things and then put it back into Final Cut because I do know how to do that part. So we're gonna see if that works. If not, I have Audacity. I can do it that way. So I have some different things. Now, here's the thing, guys. I listen to podcasts a lot at work because I am doing things constantly and sometimes I just need to hear other voices. I work from home. So I love a long podcast. So our podcast length doesn't bother me. So y'all saying you don't mind the longer episode, I'm cool with that. It is easier to edit a single long episode than it is to cut things up. So if that's what you guys want, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it
I
makes my
would,
life significantly easier too.
yeah. So it actually changes the flow of the podcast in little ways that Matt has to think about while he's hosting, if we're actually cutting versus if we're doing it as one show. So
yeah,
maybe you start doing that, and then just figure out some other stuff. But that is good to know because I don't know if I expected it to be that often that unanimous. So cool. And we'll see what people vote on because you never know what people are going to say.
Yeah, right now 15 votes in, 69% for yeah, I like this, and 12 for the Wednesday Friday is better, 6 for bring back the Monday and Tuesday minis, and click 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 is just chiming in at 12%.
I can also, depending on those final numbers, I can make things that are members only don't count towards the algorithm. So there is a possibility of a world where I cut things and they're members only, and then the full show just goes out to everybody. That is also a potential possibility. I don't know if I would cut the individual topics and the individual questions, but we'll see. So also an option, potentially, possibly. But yeah, so we're just looking at things. Lives are fun. Targeted lives are also fun, just to be able to be like, we're going to do a solid 20 minutes and that is all you're getting on this single topic. Will it be 20 minutes?
Knowing us, no.
But in theory, we can do some targeted things versus the Thursday live is the Thursday live. Stacy, hello. Good evening.
Stacey.
So
Stacy, yeah. I owe you a message. I will get on that as soon as I can.
So we're looking at things. I am down to just put out the Wednesday. It is infinitely easier because like I've started to, one thing I have started to do is download the show Tuesday because it takes a solid 45 minutes to get it off of StreamYard. So I've started doing that and that cuts some things down. But yeah, no, I'm always interested in what y'all have to say because ultimately it's your preferences. It's just what we're able to do technologically, and a single show is easier because that's what the audio only podcast is just the single massive show. And that's nice because well, thank you very much. 5 memberships. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
If we go to the single show on Wednesday, I can actually do the audio podcast coming out Wednesdays and the full show coming out Wednesdays because then we don't have to split Wednesday, Friday. So the people who are listening to the audio can also get us on Wednesday. So everything comes out same day.
No, we can, and then we can try like some experimental things with Friday or do something with with like try to get some collaboration with some other folks as well. Mike, I have not looked at the Macy's Star Award Amex card. That is a card for sure. It is administered by Citi and it's got Amex as the payment network. That is all I remember about that card, and that it's no annual fee.
Okay. I have it in front of me. Would you like to hear what this card is?
Sure, but I'm sure I'm going to be disappointed.
Okay. It is rack up rewards while picking up the tab, filling the tank, and keeping the fridge stocked. So it is 3% back on restaurants, including delivery, 2% back on gas stations and supermarkets, 1% everywhere else. 1,000 points equals $10 of Star Money rewards that you can use on anything at Macy's, including top brands, except for gift cards, services, or fees. Also, pre-sales to tickets show sporting events and concerts, plus bonus travel upgrades and savings. Let's take a look at the travel benefits. It's not giving me any real information on the travel benefits. Oh, it's just the Amex offers. Okay, cool. I mean, if you do a lot of Macying, it's not as good as Keith's Crate and Barrel credit card. That's my new bar for random credit cards.
Doesn't even sound as good as the Kohl's Cash card. Although, does the Kohl's Cash card prevent your Kohl's Cash from expiring?
I don't know.
Because that might be the only reason to get the Kohl's Cash card. Because when I earn Kohl's Cash, it expires in 14 days. And I'm like, I'm not going back to Kohl's in 14 days. What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't really have a Kohl's near me to be able to really enjoy that, and I don't shop at Kohl's a ton. It's an interesting card. I still think one of the sneaky best cards in the community, which is talked about a fair bit, but I don't think as much, is the AAA cards. I think those are really good cards.
Those are fantastic cards. I just wish that the caps were a little bit higher than 10,000. But
I am also a single person, so for me, I rarely run into a single cap.
Here's the thing. I am paying for I am paying for myself in my household. I am paying for another household, and I my money just vanishes.
You are Craig. You are Craig at times.
Yeah. The caps do make them more sustainable. Yes, I completely understand that, and I know that Comenity would be losing their damn minds on a 5x uncapped gas or grocery card. I get it, but man,
that Crate and Barrel card is like sneakily very good. Like it is disturbingly good.
If you shop at I don't shop at Crate and
Even
Barrel.
if you don't shop at Crate and Barrel, it's 4%.
But how do you email from OpenAI. Hey, they're updating their privacy policies. Yay.
Yeah. Keith, can you cash out? Can you like use it as a statement credit, or is it only to be used at Crate and Barrel? Because if you can use it as a statement credit, that's not bad.
Yeah, I can live with it being a statement credit. I don't love statement credits. I would prefer to get the cash, but
I know you don't like them. Almost 5%, also known as 4%.
Yeah. And if grocery counts with Target and Walmart, that's a pretty OP card.
Until somebody discovers it and talks about it a lot, and then it becomes not.
Who would ever do that? Who in this community would try to go out of their way to blatantly break cards? Why would somebody ever besmirch cards like that?
I just got an email on the shipping update. One will be here on the 14th and one will be around the 17th. So I should have at least something to show off on the podcast on Monday, and definitely everything by Thursday.
They're going to send you 3 brush and a mirror. Watch.
I mean, this is for the SYP stuff.
Oh,
not
okay.
The Bilt cards.
Never mind. 10,000 and spend gets you another 1%. All right.
Ooh. That is kind of nice. Is it, I don't see your answer, Keith. Is it a statement credit? I imagine it is, but stranger things have happened. Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm very excited that I am almost. I will say there is one thing I will give Bilt credit for. Shit posts fast. Like, you do not, like, 24 hours, within 24 hours, everything has posted. Like, I will give them that, because not every issuer. It's a credit towards spend. Okay. Yeah. I don't use Crate and Barrel, so for me that wouldn't work, but I get if you use Crate and Barrel ever, I get.
Yeah.
It comes in a form of Bilt box. But yeah, I will give them credit. They are very good at that. Bilt is very good with that particular thing. So they do get, I will give them credit where credit is due. I use the credit to checkout. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I did ask people for what they wanted us to talk about today, Matt, and I do have a couple of things. Let me go back into her. Future travel plans. Do you have anything on the horizon that you're excited about for the year, Matt?
Excited's a strong word. I'm trying to string together a 4-night excursion up to the Kimpton Taconic.
I want to also go there.
I would get $750 back on it. So, I'd only have to pay maybe $250 out of pocket for a 4-night stay, which would be fantastic. And I have more than enough points to not even have to pay $250. The only reason to pay $250 would be for the 8 times points.
Right.
Do you want to earn 2,000 points, or do you want to earn, or do I want to burn some of my 329,000 chase points? Probably just burn the 329,000 chase points. So I want to set up a 4-night excursion up to the Kimpton Taconic, because I would get I would set it up as 4 nights to get all $500 from the edit and the $250 credit for the select hotels, because it's IHG. What my platinum how much is my platinum status is going to be worth there for the 4 nights? Don't really care.
It's a gorgeous hotel from everything I've seen about it.
Yeah. And I get that 60% points boost with IHG. So I'm going to earn a shitload of points, which will be nice.
That is one thing I will say about IHG is you'll check out and it'll be you're expected to earn 36,000 points on this trip. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yep. Because that would be $1,000 stay. And I want to say base earnings is what, 10x?
Yes. No, 12, because the card is 10.
Right, but I'm not using an IHG card.
Right, but it's 26x if you use the card. I want to say it's somewhere in 10, 12, somewhere in there.
Oh, 26, it would be 10, 10, 6.
Yes.
Because you get 60% boost. So I'm going to get 16x on 1,000. So I'm going to get 16,000 IHG points out of that. Yeah. Oh, 6x kicker for diamond? I thought it was 6x kicker for platinum, because you get the 60% boost on platinum. Diamond, I think, is 100%.
I believe it is.
Yeah, 6x kicker for platinum. Yep. So I'm looking to do that. That would be a 4-night getaway with my partner. Try to figure that out. My brother is going to Munich or München and Berlin, and then he's going to try to go down to Rome. I'm not joining him for that trip, but my parents want to meet up with him in Rome and then go to Florence, and they want me to join them for the trip to Rome and Florence. So I have to figure that out, and that is not giving me the warm fuzzies, because I don't know how I'm going to do it. I have to go through Seats.aero. I've got to start figuring some shit out with that. Probably what I'm going to end up doing is Comfort Plus, something like Comfort Plus, because International Comfort Plus, Transatlantic Comfort Plus, it's not as great as Lie Flat Business. I'm not going to say it's anywhere near as good, but the extended legroom should be plenty. It's not basic bitch economy.
It is not.
So as long as I'm not booking that, I'm fine. I could look at ITA, except my ITA options would be a positioning flight up to Toronto, which I'm more than fine doing. And my mom is more than fine to go out and apply for a card to grab a welcome offer. And I'm thinking more along the lines of, you need a card that gets you global entry, because I used my global entry credit last year for myself, and I would like you and my dad to have global entry so I don't have to fucking deal with you guys sitting in security all day while I'm sitting in the lounge.
You know what you could also do?
Just pay for it out of pocket.
They could pay for it because it's not that expensive and it lasts 4 years.
Yeah, but why pay when you can get it for free?
Free.
Whatever. You know what
I
mean.
need to like just get a printed thing that just has an asterisk on it, just to like grab and just hold up occasionally for some of the things that we say in the credit card community.
You know, you could just spin up the GPT to create some more merch. Highlighted.
Just an asterisk on it.
Yeah.
I could.
You turned me into a goddamn raccoon, and you could be doing this asterisk.
You turned yourself into a raccoon now.
I did not.
You did the hands. But yeah, I want to go to the Taconic, so I want you to go first. Tell me how it is, and then I'll go because I'm fairly close to it, so that would be cool.
Yeah, look at it on Edit Mixer. JL from JFK to MXP, book it round trip on Emirates. It's one of the best deals to Europe. JL Miles. Can't you add the $100 portal credit to that trip? I don't have that targeted offer for the $600, so I can't. Biz Platt, I don't have that spend. I just logged into my Amex account a couple of minutes ago, or earlier in the pod. I'm finally targeted for a decent offer on the Platinum card because I was getting the 80K basic offer. I'm getting the 125 now.
Nice.
But 12K spend.
Yeah.
So no. Oh, all free employee cards get global entry. Okay. You know what? Fine. You can have I could have everyone get the Fidelity card for the global entry. Yes. Or I could apply for the global entry card or for the Fidelity card myself and have my mom open a Fidelity card. Yes. Oh, I should tell my brother to get global entry as well.
Global entry is great. Like even in small airports, just being able to go through the TSA pre-check line.
Yep.
And I know you can just get pre-check, but if you're going to get one, you might as well get the big one.
Pay for really, if you live we should be buying Nexus when we do that.
I thought of it and then I just didn't. I could when it comes up again. I have it on 7 cards. I could just get it with a different one right now.
You could. I'm not going down that path. I will have my parents go down that path at the moment. I don't have a need for MR cards. I really don't.
I'm honestly, did you just get the Blue Business Plus for the 0%? I can't remember.
I didn't just get it for the 0%, but the 0% was nice. The 0%'s long over.
Yeah.
I got it just because the guy who called me, it was just like, yo, how can we set up help with your business and all of that? Was kind of convincing. And I got the 25K offer, so I was like, okay, 25K, that's not too bad. Go from there, because 25K was really what, 33K, because it was 4K spend, right? It's 4 or 6K spend or something like that, right?
It was 4.
Yeah, so if it's 4K spend, it's 33K. And I did at least one employee card offer on it, so I got another 23K. I'm sitting at 96K MR points right now. I could send them all over to Hyatt, not Hyatt, Hilton. I could send them all over to Hilton, no problem. Do I want to? I should, but it was one of those cards that I opened without a clear use case for the points, but 0% was good to float the M4 Pro, MacBook Pro, and my iPhone 16 Pro Max. Then I paid that all down, I haven't really been using the card the last couple of months. Amex hasn't sent anything to me, but I should probably use the card at some point.
Usually you have a fairly decent runway with Amex.
Yeah. I've actually been thinking about just closing the card, like transferring out my MR points and just closing the card. Because I really
Honestly,
haven't been using it.
for you of all people, MR is probably not going to be your anything. Like you could, right? Like you live close to the city. Like if it was me, I would be at LaGuardia, just like they would know my name.
Yeah.
But you and I are very different travelers.
But it is my largest business line of credit. So
There's that.
there's that.
You could well, no, never mind.
I do have a personal card, but I'm not going to transfer.
You can't transfer. You can't transfer business to personal.
No. And even if I could, like my personal card's at 26. My Blue Business Plus is at 22.5.
Yeah.
What I wish I could do is take some of that 22.5 and move it over in Chase or Barclays and just fire out some
and
credit
Amex won't lower your credit line. Like they don't. They do. They'll raise it occasionally, but they will not lower. Amex is a weird company when it comes to credit limits.
Yeah, I am sure my business credit is significantly better than my personal credit right now.
Yeah. That's not what I want to do. But yeah, no, I'm doing a lot of traveling this year. Some of it will be fun. Some of it will be family stuff. I've already hit the things that I've already purchased will get me to gold, halfway to platinum, halfway through gold to platinum. And that's just until April. So I'm in good shape to keep platinum. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I know we have some other stuff. Hold on. Discord wants me to see what is available for things, and I don't care. Let's see here.
What's available for? Hold on.
There's a thing for like put icons around your name or whatever.
Oh no.
They're just pop-ups.
One wanted us to talk about everything.
Yes,
we're working on it.
RP.
Yep.
We just did. I think we just did the one that you were talking, or we're just about to. I was about to read that. Do you want to read that, Matt?
Sure. From RP 2048, how to decide which ecosystem works best for you. Sometimes it's decided already based on your geographic location, but sometimes if you live near a major city, you have you have access to a lot of different airlines and hotels. So a lot of it will come down to personal preference. If I wanted to fly American Airlines, I would be getting the American Airlines cards and I would be getting city cards. I can fly. I like flying JetBlue. I like JetBlue's product. It's not the best for international, but like I will figure out the international thing at another time. So like access to JetBlue is cool. I've got Chase, I've got Citi, I've got Wells Fargo. I can access JetBlue at 1-to-1. If I wanted to be a crazy person, I could apply for I could do Capital One to JetBlue and want to knock someone's teeth out. Some of it's based on can be based on geographic location. Like if you are in tight with at a Delta hub, if you're at an American hub or a United hub, it's going to make more sense to just fall in with the hub because you're going to have the most options for flights and the biggest possible scatter shot. Now, you could also win. It won't be like a huge win, but it would be more of a win to go with like the number 2 airline from that hub. It may not be a hub for number 2, but it may be a focus city for number 2, and you could still get some decent options. I'm not saying amazing options, right? If you are at Chicago, being between American and United can be advantageous because you can play American or United off of each other in terms of pricing, potentially, or reward pricing, potentially. If you're in Atlanta, you'll probably get more upgrades on United or American, but you're going to be flying through Charlotte a lot. or you're flying through Fort Lauderdale, no, Miami a lot if you're on American. So, do you want to roll those dice? That's up to you. You can get some value running the number 2, but man,
It also
it could
depends
also be
on
rough.
how you travel for those airlines, right? Like
Yeah.
I buy first class, so upgrades don't matter to me because there's nothing to upgrade, right?
Yes,
Like
there is. You could sit in the cockpit.
I could. I am not pilot trained, so probably not a good idea for anybody. Um, but like there's not an upgrade path, right? So for me, okay, hate the word Delta peso. Gonna say it. Drives me nuts. Um, Mexico didn't do anything to deserve that. It's not a defense of Delta. It's I just hate it. Um, but yeah, but it depends, right? Like you have Salt Lake City is big enough where you have other options. You're also close to other very major airports there where you could fly to from Salt Lake to like LAX, and then from LAX you can go fucking anywhere,
Yeah.
which helps. But some of it's going to depend like how you like to fly. Like if you're Josh, right, and are in the back of the plane in the center seat, like upgrades are nice in theory, but it doesn't really matter to how he likes to do things. Also, I didn't say it. Thank you for the $5.
Thank you.
Wasn't a shot at you. It just I hate the term Delta peso. Like it's one of my biggest pet peeves. Um, it becomes this thing where how you travel is going to somewhat dictate your partners. If
Yeah.
you're somebody who is a road warrior, choice might be great for you, right? Choice or IHG, right? Like Holiday Inn might be your favorite thing. Like or be able to become your favorite thing, right? Where that's going to dictate some things. If you're somebody who likes to stay at Kimpton's and Conrad's and things like that, then it's going to be different. Do you like portals, right? Like if you're somebody who just uses a portal for everything, then you don't necessarily have to have a partner, right? Like if you use the Chase portal for everything, why have something else, right? Like, why? I am fine with Delta pennies. Why have,
Delta
unless you want
halfpennies.
farthings,
Ooh.
why have, sorry, I've scrolled a little bit and I can see just the clip of us on the side and it's driving me nuts. Why have a card for a particular, why have a card for a particular airline or hotel if you're using the portal for everything, unless you want a status that you can just buy, right? Like there are ways where if you just don't want to pick partners, you can just use the portal. Like you can get the platinum, get 5x on everything through the portal and not have to think about it at all. So there are ways to do that to where you don't have to think about it all that hard. You can get cards like the green or the autograph journey or whatever, where you don't have to have a partner. You just get 3, 4, 5x on everything, and then use those to go back into the portal, right? Like it's a self-feeding. Um, yeah, like because I fly first class, that is where my brain goes automatically. Is not to upgrades, right? Is if you're wanting the biggest bang for your buck, how I travel is not going to be for you. Like, it's not my focus, right? Like Lonnie and I have certain focuses. He just can stack so many points, but we have similar travel habits. I do actually want to go to Salt Lake City for some soccer, and also to see the lounge. This is also very true. Um,
I
Also, thank you. Today is just the membership drive, guys. Very much
I'll
appreciate you.
I'll take it. And you're all
But
putting
yeah,
up with the ads that are interspersed. that we're getting paid for.
We do appreciate it. I think I think airlines are, especially domestic airlines, tend to be more self-explanatory, right? Are you in a hub? Are you going for the second one in that hub to try to get an upgrade? Are you flying something like JetBlue or Southwest where you're more budget conscious typically, right? Or it just has the route. If JetBlue has the route between your home airport and the place you fly 6 times a year to see your parents, that could be really good for you. Yes, but you have to have the points. That is the thing I hate. You also don't get 5x on direct flights, which I also hate. But it is an option if you want to do it that way. But airlines tend to be more self-explanatory. I think with hotels, you can reasonably, for like under $500, get the mid-level card with all of the major hotel chains for like $400, $300, something like that. And Hyatt is what, 90, 95,
95.
99? So
95.
95 for that, 99 for IHG, 150 for Hilton, and what, 95 for Marriott?
95 for Marriott, 150 Hilton, 95 Hyatt, 99 IHG, and 95 for the choice card.
Hold on. 95, 95, 99, 1. So that's $439. So for $439, you can have the mid-level card for all 4 of your hotel, the major hotel chains, right? And the choice card you can also get, like, you can get the $0 version of all of them and get something, right? Like, there are ways that you can do things that way and get some basic status, get some bottles of water, get a cookie or whatever, right? Like, you can do that for fairly. Choice is also a good one. I had that card. It was a great card. And you can do it. You can get not the free card, but the one up from the free card for most of the airlines and also do fairly well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can do things like that without, I am tied to my partners by my own choice. Like, I have made a conscious choice to put my spend into limited things typically. The Bilt thing is an aberration that I'm still processing with my therapist. But I have made the conscious choice for when I'm doing things to tie myself to a certain partner. Matt hasn't done that. Craig has done that to some extent. Lonnie has done that with his stacking.
Yep.
Where it becomes this thing of, if you're just trying things out, go to a bunch of different hotels. Try a DoubleTree, try a Holiday Inn, try a Hampton, try some Choice, try a bunch of different things and see how you like it. Like, if you're I tend not to be a free breakfast person because I just wake up too late. I wake up at 10. Most of the free breakfast is done by 10, which means free breakfast is not something I necessarily think about when I'm picking a hotel. Like, if they have breakfast where you can get it till 11 and pay, then I got a better shot, right? So there are ways where you can get options for different things, and you guys can throw out cards, perfectly good. There are ways for you to do that. Are you focused on domestic travel or international, right? Like, Lonnie does a lot of international traveling. That is something he focuses on. I tend to never think about international travel, right? Like, just where I want to go is domestic. So I'm not thinking about leaving the country. Matt's done a little bit of both. Craig has done a little bit of both. So it becomes this thing of, how do you pick your partners? Figure out what you like first. You have to do that, right? Like, that is the ultimate thing of picking your partners, is try a bunch of stuff. And some of it you're going to have to just pay cash for. You have to, right? Like, you got to pay a little bit of cash. You'll figure out what you like. You'll get points in something. And then from there, you can figure out what you like and what you want to invest your time and effort in. But I think we undervalue using cash, especially in the beginning, to figure out what you like before you commit.
Yep. Yeah, where you are can play a big part of it. Also, how you travel, for sure. Stack your lives. RP also asked, how important is customer service? Is it just about the points and ecosystems, or does customer service play a role as well? Does it change as you get older? How important is customer service? It is only important when you need it, which is annoying, right? I never have issues with Wells Fargo. Why? I pay my bill on time. I haven't had any fraudulent activity. I haven't had any significant issues. The last time I did, they handled it very easily. No problem. Right. So I have no major contentions or issues with Wells Fargo customer service. I have no major issues or contentions with Chase customer service. But when you need them and they fail you, or it's a company that doesn't believe in customer service, or it's a company that believes that it can automate its way out of customer service, stuff is bad. There's a particular 4-letter company that is not having the greatest of time with customer service right now.
City?
They're fine if you call the Prestige / Strata Elite line. You are on your own if you have a custom cache.
I was making a funny, Matt.
I know. I just didn't want to address the other one.
Before I answer this.
Why Wells Fargo cloned the journey for wealth management credit cards? So they have a fun little statistic that less than half of their wealth management customers have a Wells Fargo card. So they are going to be making a push. Citi's also going to be making a push to their higher end clients, and Bank of America is going to be making a push this year to its higher end clients to focus more on their high end, high net worth clients so that they're getting those folks committing their spend with them. So they're cloning the journey for their wealth management clients with, and it's not just a clone, but it's like a clone and amplification of the card, because they're giving you a Visa Infinite card for $95. That is exactly like the Autograph Journey. So it has the exact same multipliers. It has the same $50 hotel airline credit. Sorry, $50 airline credit. It's also getting Trusted Traveler Program reimbursement, and it's getting all Visa Infinite utility, because they want their higher end clientele to spend on these cards, and giving them something a little bit more luxury than the Autograph Journey, which is a very, very good card, is what they're hoping to entice to get that number from under 50% to 54, 55% of their clientele with those cards. And they want folks to spend on those cards, because we are not living in the rosiest of economic times right now. And if you can get your richest clientele to commit to spend with your cards, you can mitigate potential damages of people not being able to spend on your cards, or not being able to pay back their cards. So you want to get your clientele in, and you want to get your wealth management folks in on your cards, so that they are spending on your cards. You're getting your interchange fees from them. You're getting your annual fees from them. You're going to give them back the $50 on the airline thing, but you're getting them to spend on the cards. And when it's less than 50% of your wealth management crew, or your premier banking crew, your private banking crew, less than 50%, like, you want to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump them up. So that's why they're cloning it for their wealth management folks. Do I wish that they were launching Autograph Beyond next week? Yes, I do. But they also don't have the list of transfer partners yet. They haven't built that list of transfer partners yet to do much more than, me be hyped for the launch, and have Joe and Luke and Chad and Lonnie or whoever else make a video that's just like, yeah, this is all great on paper, but where are you sending your points? Like, you don't want to have that be the first impression, because that was the first impression with Autograph Journey, and that sort of stalled Autograph Journey for a little bit. So that's why. Sleeper Rod, can regular people get this Wells Fargo card, this new Wells Fargo card? Yeah, all you need is a Premier checking account. You can sign up. What I've been told is you can sign up for a Premier checking account. You'll need like $250,000 in assets to waive the fee. Theoretically, and this is something I've thought about doing, but I haven't yet pulled the trigger yet. You could open a Premier account, or you could upgrade your account with Wells Fargo up to a Premier account, apply for the card, get the card, and then downgrade back to a regular everyday checking account, or close your Premier checking account if you're not after the bonus, which is usually pretty lucrative, but you're not going after it. And you could do that. How likely is it that they claw back the card? I don't know. I've been told by my source at Wells Fargo it should work, but we're working off of theory.
Incomplete information.
Yeah, we're working off of incomplete information. Yeah, and it's not, well, it's for folks who are able to get it to, anyone can open a Premier account. Anyone, well, not anyone. Private banking is one thing. Premier, anyone can open a Premier account. So it's not like a 1%er card. It's not a multi-million-dollar card. 4-digit company that struggles with customer service, Cap One. They're not great. Chase's customer service has been crappy lately. I haven't had issues, but I don't love the idea that, if I have to call them, it's going to be bad. Honestly, if I've got an issue on my Freedom cards, I'm just going to call my Sapphire Reserve line.
Yeah.
I can still get a human on my Sapphire Reserve line. No problem. The Marriott 5-night sub, does that come with multiple times a year? My spend usually isn't much at the beginning of the year. If the offer is around for summer or fall, I can do it easily. I think it comes up in the beginning of the year, and there's sometimes like a summer or fall. It's also going to depend on like how their signups are going, how they're like, what they're like feeling and judging. But if they need to up their boundless numbers, they will offer that 5-night sub pretty frequently. It's usually a 3-night sub. The 3-night sub is pretty much all year. Welcome bonus for that. It's going to be 100,000 points on 4,000 spend, which not bad. It's $1,000. That's 25% return.
Yeah. My view on customer service is that Americans are very bad at dealing with customer service. Yep. 4 things. As somebody who has worked in customer service, as somebody who deals with phone calls, we're very bad at it. So I give a lot of grace to customer service people. However, I think it matters more than we give it credit for, because there are things where if you say you buy an Apple product, right? I am looking at several of them right now. Mm-hmm. If I had bad customer experience from an Apple product, like it could suck, it could ruin my day, it could be an expensive mistake. If I had bad customer service from something tied to my financial life, that could be catastrophic, right? Like, I don't know, a hypothetical, if your mortgage payment is late and you can't get customer service for when that mortgage payment is going to be paid, that could be a huge problem for like you keeping your house. Because mortgage companies do not play when it comes to getting paid.
Yep.
So it becomes this thing of, what are you willing to risk? Also, banks can just close your cards in a lot of circumstances to where if you've put a lot of your eggs in one basket, like you might be tying yourself to a company that doesn't have very, like if you use, I'm going to use the classic example. If you're a big mobile wallet person and you use Citi because you're an AA person as well, that could be huge. Like that customer service experience, which is not historically been very good, could be a huge problem. So you have to weigh, not historically, this has been fine for me, so it will always be fine. You have to weigh, what is it worth to me to have some assurance that things will go right. Like I have Amex, I've had to deal with Amex customer service. I have never had a problem with Amex customer service. If tomorrow something happened and I was hacked and had to deal with it, I have a fairly good I have a fairly good confidence that Amex would handle. I have fairly good confidence Chase would handle. I have 2 Chase cards, right? I have IHG and I have a Freedom Unlimited. They are not my favorite customer service, but I'm fairly confident that they will handle it. I am fairly confident that some other cards I have will be handled. I'm actually not that confident that my Rakuten card, because I don't know Imprint very well, will be handled as well. I don't have confidence at all that my Bilt card will be handled very well with the customer service experience that I've gotten so far, right? Like those become things where, like, I've never had a problem with my Rakuten card. That thing has been rock solid. The app is great. Everything works. Everything shows up the way it's supposed to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes this thing where, as Matt said, like you don't notice customer service until you need it. But I am much more likely to go with a company at this point that has a history of good customer service. They do now. I have not noticed a difference in the service I got before they had a dedicated line and the service I got after they had a dedicated line, where it literally is blue, press 1, obsidian, press 2, palladium, press 3. I have not noticed at all a difference in those experiences. So it becomes this thing, like I also have a platinum. That is a different phone number than my other Amex cards. That is a dedicated team. I was treated differently when I called in on a question with my platinum than when I called in with a question on, I think it was my Hilton card, right? Like there is different service there.
Mm-hmm.
Matt has a CSR. If he's got a problem, he's calling that CSR line because he has the CSR, so he's got the number, right? Like it becomes a situation where the older I get, the more I pay attention to things like customer service, to experience, to how things feel. I liken it to the point, and everyone will get to this point. It'll be a different number for everyone, but everyone will get to the point where sharing an Airbnb with 6 other people because it's cheaper versus having a dedicated hotel room becomes this just your standard, right? When I was in college, like the idea of just sharing a hotel or sharing an Airbnb, and we didn't really have Airbnbs back then, but like sharing something with a bunch of friends and not everybody had a bedroom. Some people were just on the couch. Sure, whatever. I'm sure it'll be fine. Now, the idea of doing that, no, hell no. So there comes a point where certain things start to matter in different ways. And I think customer service becomes a thing that you really start to notice, especially after you've had bad customer service. But I think age plays a part in that. Like that, I think is something that really does play a part in it.
Yeah, it definitely can. I'm not aware of any significant difference. Like, I'm looking at Bilt Reddit. I've been trying not to mention Bilt all night. But what I'm seeing in Bilt Reddit with regards to people's interactions with customer service, based off of RJ's reactions with customer service, based off of some other folks' reactions with customer service and Bilt, like for the 3rd time, Bilt has looked at customer service as merely a suggestion when it is like perception is one thing, right? And perception with Bilt was great. and again, my issues with them is nothing to do with the card or the card or the program. My issues with them are the company, and the company steadfastly refuses to grow or learn or accept criticism. And when it's your third card issuer in 5 years, that's a red flag, in my opinion, right?
Mhm.
Customer service within the Wells Fargo years was not particularly good. Customer service in the 5 days that since the official launch of the new cards, from what I'm seeing now, what I'm seeing is a niche of a niche, and I will grant that. But what I'm seeing from this niche of a niche is 100% unacceptable for a company that's been around for 5 years, and 100% unacceptable as someone who works in healthcare customer service. Like, there was a post a couple of days ago, um, featuring an email from the COO, the chief operating officer, who was basically like, you know, if this offer was all you wanted the card for, you may as well just pound sand. You can have that thought. I am fine with the COO having that thought. Like, I would have that thought. That is not something you write in an email as part
That's
of
an
customer
inside
service.
voice. That's
Yeah.
inside voice.
You let your inside thought out, and that's never really a good thing, right? Um, and again, I know that this is a sliver of a sliver. For the folks where customer service hasn't been an issue for Bilt, like they haven't had to call, they haven't had to
Spathco, he's had
do anything.
no problems other than not seeing when his statement cuts and not being able to, like, pull out transactions.
Yeah, and that's just based off of Spathco's own intricacies, and we
Right.
enjoy Spathco, but he has his own intricacies.
I mean,
I'm
knowing
sure
when the statement cuts would be really nice because they give contradictory answers right now if you ask them.
would be swell, and I know Charvizio probably isn't having significant issues with Bilt, but from what I'm seeing from folks having issues with Bilt or what's getting published, um, you know, unacceptable the way that they're responding to these things.
And a
And
lot
like,
so Oh, I'm sorry, Matt, go ahead.
oh no. And like for a 5-year-old company, I can't accept that. And I can't accept that that is continuing to be SOP.
Also, a lot of people who have been having issues are Palladium holders, right? Like, if this was it would not be excusable. I'm not saying this at all. But if it was people with the blue card that were having all of the problems online, that at
Mhm.
least would be a target of a thing. But a lot of people who are having issues hold the Palladium card, which you would expect that group would be a focus point for this company to do right by.
Mhm.
And if the company can't get the mortgage payment processed or can't get, and rent has also been an issue. It's not simply people who have mortgages. It's also
Yep.
been people who pay rent. Like, if you lose your house, how are you going to talk about Bilt? Because it's not going to be positive. And like, look, it's going to take more than one missed payment, but that, as somebody who works in a blue collar or a white collar job, tangentially related to all of this, not really, but sorta, they know when you've missed a payment. And even if you make that payment the next day, that is not something that is forgotten. That is not something that is let go.
Yeah.
Because if you make a second missed payment, that becomes a really big problem. And I've seen people who have had 2 or 3 payments bounce back to them. That is going to become a problem at some point. Hopefully it won't, but judging from experience, it can be. Um, yeah, you impact people's health, wealth, or children for good or bad, you'll never be forgotten.
Yep.
Um, and here's the thing, and I think Matt would agree with me. I don't love being negative about a company, right? Like, I like making jokes about a company. I will pick on Citi's inability to join us in the in 2026 with a mobile wallet that works consistently for 99% of people till the end of time, because I think it's funny, right? I think it's funny that they find it to be witchcraft. But that is a relatively small issue, right? Like, relatively. What Bilt is doing is not a relatively small issue. It's just not. And I don't want to keep talking about them, but I have the card, right? Like I am in this. I am in the mud with this. Lonnie's got the blue. Craig doesn't have it. Matt doesn't have it, right? But it's also a major topic. Like our jobs, as far as we can call this a job, is to talk about the things that are going on in the world of credit cards. We can't ignore Bilt because they are the biggest story in credit cards right now. Like, this is not a niche product that in the news of the day, this is not a niche subject. This is not the Crate and Barrel card. Like, if that card was having issues, like, we would point it out, but ultimately it wouldn't impact, quote, that many people. And it would not be a topic of discussion. Bilt is a topic of discussion. They have made themselves one because of what they've done. We can't ignore that. Like, we can't. We would not be doing our jobs properly if we did. So it becomes this catch-22 of we don't actually want to be negative. Matt sometimes likes to be grumpy. I like to make jokes. Like, yes, that is absolutely true. But I think Matt would agree. Like, if Bilt tomorrow fixed everything and we didn't have to talk about this anymore, we would be happy.
Yeah.
But that's right now, that's not an option. It literally is not an option for what we do.
Again, like I have no issue with like I think Palladium's a cool card. I think that like I think there's areas where it could have been better. For sure, but like I think Obsidian is an interesting play in what they're trying to do because it's the same card that they had ostensibly, but with a $95 annual fee. I think blue is trash. I do.
I mean no sarcasm when I say I am very happy for you. I genuinely mean that without sarcasm. The problem is I have 4 Bilt cards on their way to me right now. I have spent 3 hours online with their customer service for 4 different types of problems. That is not acceptable. Also, Spathco is correct. We need more Crate and Barrel type cards. Like, those are cool cards. They're funky. They're wacky. I like them. Sorry, Matt. Please continue.
No worries. So like I would much rather be talking about I don't know anything else. It's just I like the cards. I like the program. I do not, will not, and cannot currently like the senior management, be it the CEO, the COO, the CFO, the general manager of travel. All of it is just not worth, it feels not worth my time at this point. Yes. They also could have just made it a 1.5. And not made up monopoly money as a way of convincing you that's the way you're going to win back your points. They also could have like partnered with a legitimate bank to allow you to float your rent and not had to worry about any of this. But they did partner with a legitimate bank and allowed you to float your rent, and they screwed the pooch. And again, like 99% of the issues that are happening this week wouldn't be an issue if these cards had launched with Wells Fargo.
No, here's the thing. Wells Fargo is bigger. They have more experience, and they genuinely are the adults in the room. Like, yeah. And I mean that like sincerely. I do not mean that in terms of like being sarcastic or making jokes about their history. They were the adults in the room.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it is pandering to them.
Restructuring the deal where Wells would stop paying them $200 for every card that was created. Introducing these 3 cards, allowing you to float your rent and mortgage with Wells Fargo on these cards, making the blue 1.5 no annual fee, making the obsidian what it is at 95, and the palladium what it is, maybe better, maybe stronger, I don't know. And possibly switching these cards over to Visa would have made this launch something as the absolute like Bilt is here to Bilt would be able to stomp on Chase, and Chase is taking its licks right now. Chase is not in a great place. Absolutely. But they would be able to trump whatever Citi has done in the last year if they had done this launch with Wells Fargo and possibly switched payment networks, because then the Palladium would be a Visa Infinite and it would be much stronger overall. They would be not going toe to toe with American Express, but they would be able to take on everyone other than American Express with ease if they had stayed with Wells Fargo, restructured the deal, and introduced these cards with Wells Fargo. And they could have had status unlocks and like actually converted and done loyalty points, like a loyalty point system that American Airlines has, without having to do, the monopoly money that they launched.
I mean, maybe, but also I think they would probably. Wells Fargo is smart enough to put limits on things that I don't think Cardless has. Cardless is also, and this is something because we haven't had a ton of time. Cardless has a strong history of closing accounts that do the more nefarious side of the hobby. Like, without warning, like we're a couple days in and people are talking about already having spent the 16,623 or whatever it is to get the boost up to whatever. Like, be careful. And I don't mean, I'm not talking for once about moral or whatever. Be careful, because Cardless will shut you down. And I don't think Bilt has the pull with them to stop. Like, from an underwriting perspective, they might just shut your ass down. Like, legitimately. And ultimately, if they believe you've broken their terms, or they just, it's sort of like when you get fired, if you can't prove that they're discriminating against you, like, they can just shut you down. And it doesn't matter how many times you say, no, I promise I didn't buy gold bars. I bought $20,000 of bath salts. Like, it doesn't matter. They can just say no. So
you also really shouldn't buy $20,000 worth of bath salts. You're going to get looked
you're making bath bombs.
Don't think you're making bath bombs if you're buying $20,000.
I'm Matt. It was the first thing that came to my head. Okay. But my point is that Cardless is much, much more likely to just shut you down. They're not going to do the Amex. They're not going to do the Amex like Rat Squad. They're not going to give you a chance to prove it. They're just going to shut you down. And you think people are crashing out now. Like, because it's not going to take long for the way people are gaming this for Cardless to start shutting people down. Like, it's just not. Cardless has a history of doing this. So I think it's going to be interesting as those come in, because Bilt isn't really going to have a say in it. Like, it's not Apple and Goldman Sachs, right? Where Apple said you're going to do this, 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 and this, and Goldman wanted to get into consumer credit cards, so they folded and agreed to it.
Yep.
Like, this is a situation where Cardless, maybe, things are different, but it's not going to, I don't think it's going to be as fruitful for people when all of their points are suddenly gone and their account is closed and they just own the balance of everything, and that's it.
Yep. The other thing that worries me about this relationship is, as soon as a product is no longer viable to Cardless, and Cardless keeps a very short leash on these things, they will just close the cards. No notice. Had Cardless done any other collabs with Column, isn't it more the lending bank versus the bank's card servicer that would have the account closure decisions? if I remember correctly, Column is this is the first collaboration with a not First Electronic Bank, because I think the other cards are all First Electronic Bank and cardless. But even then, First Electronic Bank has relationships with Imprint. Imprint hasn't like auto shut off cards in the middle of the night the way that cardless has. Like cardless decided they were out of sports teams and just shut them all off in the middle of the night.
Also, the servicer has a duty to spot money laundering. I mean, the issuing bank does too, but the servicer also has that duty.
Yeah.
So. Let's see here. Here's a question, Matt. Does the community chase shiny objects? The community can be best cards or the best companies take advantage of. Personally, I'm okay with a blend of the two within reason if you're still honest and honorable. The community chases shiny things. Absolutely. Without a doubt. Much.
Look at the last 5 days. People were panning the Chase Sapphire Reserve, refresh. But
here's the thing, it actually is technically money laundering. Most manufactured spend, by definition, is money laundering. You don't actually, under most laws, you don't actually have to be doing something, quote, nefarious for it to be money laundering. Like, I have actually asked a practicing attorney this question because I was interested in it. After being in this community, you don't actually kind of have to be like buying drugs with it for it to be money laundering. Fun fact. Again, I am not an attorney. I don't play with it on TV, but I have talked to people about this because I thought it was interesting.
No, and that's fair. Like a lot of it can look bad, especially if you're doing credit cycling and MS at the same time. You gonna raise some flags. Where was I before?
I do column and closing cards.
Oh yeah, Cardless has just straight up done this overnight. Like as soon as they want to get out of a business, they out. Like no ifs, ands, or buts. So we'll see what happens. Oh, and shiny things. Look at the last 5 days for sure. Sapphire Reserve refresh was not handled particularly well, but people were rushing to get the 125,000 point welcome offers, like as quickly as they could. As soon as it went from 100,000 plus the $250 or the $500 travel credit, and people were not so psyched to do that one, they ran to the 125,000. People panned the Sapphire Reserve for Business launch. They still signed up in droves to get the 200,000 points. Like we do not think, like we say, this doesn't make sense. This is stupid. And yet we'll still sign up for a card. Like City Strat Elite came out. There were people who were not particularly impressed with the card. And still signed up for it because 100,000 city points that can go to AA is way better. And like after the first year is far better than just like putzing around and spending on my chase cards. We convince ourselves to do a lot of dumb stuff for shiny. So hold on. The community can be best cards, or is it best companies to take advantage of? Personally, I'm okay with the blend of the two within reason if you're still honest and honorable. Yeah, I mean it's and yeah, Stacy, if AA and I prefer work for you, that's great. Right? There are people who
Jason just got the Strat Elite, I believe, because he flies AA, and that was a perfect card for him.
Yep. That's silly. Well, no, it is just a custom cash with a better welcome bonus because a lot of people are going to call after the first year and convert it into a custom cash.
It's not. It's got, at least it has a
1.5 base
1.5
is
base.
better than nothing. But yeah, it's just we will do a lot of dumb things to chase after the shiny.
See, here's the thing. There is an expression that is overused but true. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. There is nothing that I have been shown from the leadership of Bilt to show me that they're going to become the top program. Like, it's not a question of the product, it's not a question of the cards, it's not a question of the partnership. It's a question of the leadership. They have shown time and time again, if there is a rake or if there is a clear path, they're going to choose the rake. At some point, we have to believe them.
Yeah. And again, I think the program could be super valuable. Look, this not. I think the program could be super valuable. The program as currently constituted, super valuable. You got Hyatt, you got Atmos, you got JAL, all at 1-to-1. Great. You fumbled the bag a little bit on Hilton. Maybe you could have been the first rewards program that got Marriott to or IHG to move off of 1-to-1. Maybe. But, and again, they're going to be profitable. They don't need credit cards to be profitable. Like what they're doing on the back end and how they're making money is sustainable. They are not an unsustainable company. It is not like Mesa where they needed the credit card to launch the program that was going to actively make them money in the future. They have the program on the side that is actively making them money, but they're not always going to, they're not on a trajectory right now with the leadership that they have to hit that next level. And no, but like they could have made this better. And they're going to make money. It's not a question of like, is Bilt going away in the next 12 months? No, Bilt is going to survive for a while.
Bilt is also being infused with cash
Yeah.
from outside source. Bilt is not self-sustaining.
No, but they're far closer to being self-sustaining than Mesa ever was.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, like, compared to any other card that we talk about regularly.
Yeah. But again, like their primary method of making money isn't their credit card. So like
No.
the credit card can be a loss leader. It can only be a loss leader for so long. I don't know that they've teamed up with the best issuer to sustain a loss leadership. And I think they missed on their last partner to have made it a better loss leader.
I think they should have just done away with Bilt cash. I think having, as somebody who uses this card, having both points and Bilt cash that isn't actually cash is silly. Like, it's just silly. And this is somebody who has and has to use this.
I think they should have just been more upfront with the 75%. If they had been upfront with the 75% and just said, you know, because we're losing Wells Fargo and Wells Fargo was our means of floating your ability, and like they were the ones picking up the tab for the 3%, you can either pay 3%, still get your rewards, or spend up to 75% of your card, 75% of your rent total, and get your rewards and your fee waived because it's ACH. They're taking the money anyway.
Yeah. Directly, and then not like people were using this card not to screw around. I mean, some were screwing around, but like if you get paid on days that aren't when your rent is due.
Yeah.
Right? Like that is how you were doing. Like some people didn't take this card because they can't do it that way. They got to pay some other way, or they have to do it in a way that isn't now possible.
Yeah. And again, floating your rent, not necessarily the best thing. I get it. But
like we float everything we put on a credit card.
Right.
Like literally everything you put on a credit card is floating, if you want to call. I mean, I understand the technicality, right?
Mm.
But like, it is not.
Because they're pretty upfront with.
Oh, in the ignoring part, I agree.
Yeah. They're pretty upfront with the Atmos card and the United card and the next couple of co-branded cards that they're going to roll out to pay your rent and get rewards in those networks. I'm certain the Hilton card will get it in the not too distant future. I'm fairly certain, one of their other airline cards will get it in the not too distant future. Other than marketing for the Bilt 2.0 cards outside of the rent points and miles community, I think
it stops them from having to do like their own shop. Like they
Yeah.
have the community stuff, but they now don't have to have a full-on portal for that.
Yeah. They saw how lucrative shopping portals were for American Express. They see how potentially lucrative another 4-letter company could be at running a shopping portal.
Just say it, Matt.
I don't want. I'm not doing it tonight. I'm not
Matt
doing it
works
tonight.
for Rove. He's
don't work
actually the
for Rove.
president of Rove. He is the CEO of Rove.
Max,
He has a private jet. I have random photos of private jets I can show.
Great. I'm a raccoon on a private jet that says Rove. Great. Thank you so much.
I really need to go to Gemini and create that, because that sounds fantastic.
Let's not right now. Dang it, Stacy. Stacy, you also moderate the same Facebook group that I do. You also get points. Anyway, there, disclaimer. Whole life people just wanted a 2x catch-all Hyatt card. It's finally here. In my opinion, people will look past the leadership and see.
Until your mortgage is late.
Yeah.
Like, until your mortgage is late or your card, like, we still don't know what happens if you get fraud on your card. Like, I mean that legitimately. I'm waiting for Spaethco to go to a Hyatt and somebody to hold him up at knife point for his card, and Bilt be like, we can send you a new card in 24 months.
Look, Spaethco's had enough issues at Hyatt's that we don't need to wish that upon him.
I'm not wishing it upon him.
Yeah.
Just saying.
9 out of 10. Yeah, there you go. I've had success with it. It tracks a lot better than some others. Anyway,
but Rove can't get me Delta. That's my problem.
Not directly.
And I get, like, Delta and Apple, like me, Delta and Apple, right? Like, they don't
Delta and
want to
Apple
play
are
nice.
bitches.
Yeah. I have a type. What can I say?
That's fair.
Fair.
So yeah, anyway. I do think there was better ways to do it. I do think there was a more ingenuous way, more genuous way to do it. I don't know, whatever. Because they pretty clearly lay out it's 3% on your other cards. The problem is their ethos is that they don't believe in investing in humans. They invest in entrepreneurial spirit, and entrepreneurial spirit now is AI everything. And you cannot AI your way into customer service. And I swear to God, that smirk on your face just tells me that you did the thing that you said you were going to, that you wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
Great.
And it's adorable.
Lovely.
No, it's actually really cute, though. Look at it, Matt. It's got little goggles on. I didn't even ask for the goggles. They just did it.
That's terrifying. That's adorable, but terrifying.
It is adorable, though.
Yes.
Like, it is actually adorable.
It's an actual raccoon, so I'll take it.
Well, it didn't have the Macoon for me to, like, put in there, so don't worry, it'll come.
If they up their customer service, yes. I don't believe that they will, honestly. Their ethos, Encore's ethos, is very much like, how much can AI do for us? And if you're not willing to invest in humans to do I don't know, the thing, maybe you should invest in humans for the thing that is customer service.
I mean, anytime you want to put it in Stack Your Live, friend, go for it.
Yep, sure can. Hi, Jake. So yeah, it's been a rocky week in terms of customer service stuff. But again, we're looking at a niche of a niche, and I will give them that. Oh, and El Puma likes when we do the full video. I kept that running for the longest time. I should probably go back into that and just shut that poll down at this point. Whoops.
Hold on, I want to look at it. I mean, you can keep it up. It's not gonna like hurt anything.
No, it's not.
So I did not get to see your Hyatt video because work was insane today. As I said.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the premium Hyatt?
Yeah, nothing confirmed on a premium Hyatt card yet, but I noticed earlier there's a limited promotion with DoorDash and Hyatt where DoorDash you can activate DoorDash with your Hyatt card and get 3 times on restaurant deliveries, 2 times on all other deliveries. I think you get complimentary Dash Pass for 3 months. You don't currently get a credit, but it runs until April 22nd. And that felt like a very particular date. And the most obvious answer and the simplest answer is probably the answer. That's what, Occam's razor?
Something like that.
Yeah, we're going to say it's Occam's razor. I'm probably wrong. Philosophy students, please let me know. But the Occam's razor of it is it's likely just an 8-week campaign. Likely just. But DoorDash has a long-standing relationship with Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Hyatt cards are issued by Chase. Hyatt has a long-standing relationship with Chase, and Hyatt in the late fall, like right around the beginning of winter, reaffirmed and extended their credit card relationship with Chase and said and implied that more Hyatt cards will be launched. They've also been doing surveys of a premium Hyatt card for the longest time.
Yes.
So it stands to reason, or what my theory presupposes is, just to borrow from Ben and Adam, what my theory presupposes is what if the 22nd is the launch date for the premium Hyatt card?
Interesting.
And they extend the Bilt relationship, Jesus Christ. They extend the DoorDash relationship after the 22nd with like credits and Dash Pass on the premium card and like a 3-month Dash Pass with another 3-month Dash Pass with the regular World of Hyatt card. The World of Hyatt card gets that 3x on restaurants, 2x on others as a permanent feature. And then the premium card launches on the 22nd. Because that date is way too close and way too specific to me to not mean that we couldn't see the World of Hyatt card, a premium
April 22nd.
Yeah.
Hold on. It's a Wednesday.
Well,
no. What I mean is like it's also Earth Day.
Hooray.
Like usually when you do like offers, you go to like a Friday, right? Like you go to the end of the week. If they ended on the 22nd, launched the card on the 24th, like hit people right for the weekend, hit them on a payday. Could be interesting. I go back and forth on a premium Hyatt card because I don't think if they do one, I don't think it's going to give people what they actually want. And I think that's going to be a problem because what people want is a higher status. Like the problem with Hyatt is because they make you work for it, you can get different types of rewards than you can anywhere else. Right? Like your status means more. And I'm not talking like the Protestant work ethic, like you worked for it, so it matters more. I mean, like you actually get more with your status because you can't just buy most status, right? So
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're not actually going to give people what they want on the card because it's going to fundamentally change how the program works. And that's going to piss a lot of people off.
So here's the thing. I don't think any premium World of Hyatt card is going to come with globalist status in any way, shape, or form. I just don't think it will. I also don't think a premium World of Hyatt card will come with Discover status. I think you could pay $350, $450, even $550 for Explorist. Now, Explorist is not particularly great. All that you get with Explorist versus Discoverist is some expanded American Airlines benefits and later checkout, and that's and like 20% bonus points instead of 10% bonus points. Like, you're not getting the waived resort fees, you're not getting the guaranteed breakfast, you're not getting the suite level awards, you're not getting a lot of the other things. And you could set it up so that this premium card still doesn't get you that like first 40 nights, where at 40 nights you get your first guest of honor certificate.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the first real valuable milestone reward, where that's the one where you can get guest of honor, and guest of honor gets you to treat yourself like globalist for up to 7 nights. So I do think that there's a way. Now, you'd be silly to think that they're going to put globalist on a card. I don't think.
What if they put globalist on a card, but you have to spend $100,000 to unlock it?
I think there's people who'd be more than happy to spend $100,000 on a card.
No, I'm not saying, but you like companies have gone to that, right? Like they've gone to the model of we're going to put it on the card, but we're not going to put it on the card where you just
directly
get it.
Yeah. Keith can spend his way to globalist.
Keith can spend his way to globalist just staying at Hyatt's.
Sure. But this is going to be something.
Keith hasn't bought a Hyatt and just like got himself a room every night. Genuinely, it might not be a bad business idea.
Yeah. That sounds terrible. No, I don't think that they're going to. And I've been seeing Bilt commercials on YouTube way too much.
This is also diabolical. Like having to get a pin mailed to you is diabolical.
Yeah, that's one of the places where Wells Fargo is stuck in the past, for sure.
Hyatt is Hyatt.
Look, I've been to Hyatt properties. I like Hyatt properties. I've liked my experiences at Hilton's. I do like some Hyatts a little bit better, but their reward chart is the biggest thing holding them up, propping them up. They don't have the footprint that a Hilton does. They don't have the footprint that Marriott does. They don't even have the footprint of IHG. Well, IHG is like the largest conglomerate in the world. It's IHG, Marriott, and then Hilton, I think, in that order. And then surprisingly, like GHA comes up relatively up there.
Total open rooms, IHG has over 1 million.
Yeah. Marriott is behind, but I don't think they're significantly behind because they keep buying properties.
They are not behind. Total open rooms approximately 1.6 million.
Oh, they're very further ahead. Got it.
Let's check Hilton just for fun. Hilton 1.3. And then Hyatt. Hyatt is at.
I would be amazed if they break 600,000.
They've got 1,450 properties. Their total room count exceeds 322,000. They want to add. They believe this post believes they added 148,000 as of late, so they're around 500,000. So they're about a third of the other companies, half to a third.
Like, that is why the award chart is sustainable. First year globalist has a welcome bonus and spending $100,000. You got to put a $20,000 welcome offer on that bonus. Like, there's no way that they're going to put, for a card to reliably hold globalist status, that would be it would have a comma in the annual fee.
Right, but if you put it to 100,000
to keep it,
right? Like give it to them for a year.
Yep.
Or do, you know, what'd be interesting is do almost a reverse welcome bonus where you get it for 3 months. Instead of you have 3 months to get the sub, you get Globalist for 3 months. And then to keep it, you have to spend X number. And then it's 100,000 a year.
Well, you could also do the status challenge where to keep Globalist for that period, you have to spend 20 nights in 3 months. You could do that. It'd be sort of diabolical to open a credit card and then spend 20 nights of Hyatt, but
here's the thing, like I don't have a problem with Hyatt. I really actually don't have a problem with their rewards chart or their program. My problem with Hyatt is they're not where I want to stay reliably for the kinds of hotels I want to stay in. That's simply it. Like, and that is a total me thing. And the thing is, like, I'm fine with it. Like, if I stayed at a Hyatt through a portal, I would be fine with it. Like, if Delta had a Grand Hyatt or whatever, and it wasn't something Spaceco had stayed in, like, I'd be good. Right? Like, I feel the same way with Marriott. I don't want to engage with their program, but I have no problem staying at the properties. Yep. So I don't hate Hyatt. I think the problem with Hyatt is because if you stay in places with Hyatts and you really like that Hyatt, I think Hyatt is a great option for you. I think the problem is, like, I like Hilton, and I have my issues with Hilton right now. I really like IHG because they're just everywhere I want to travel. They happen to be everywhere I am traveling. Like Kimpton's, and I'm going to stay in 3 Intercontinentals this year. Like, I just happen to be having a good run with IHG. That makes it easier. I like their product. If you like Hyatt, I think Hyatt is great for you. I think the problem with Hyatt is their footprint. Yeah. We're not so much the banking side of things. This is just not our wheelhouse.
But it's relatively straightforward, though. CDs, certificates of deposits, they are parking your money for a set amount of time for a set amount of interest. Versus high yield savings, you can move out the money whenever you want. It has it's certain APY. You'll get a higher APY for a longer term CD, but you have to lock up your money in that CD. You cannot take it out without a prepayment, without a withdrawal penalty. So if you're going to lock up your money in a CD, you really have to make sure you're not going to need that money in 3, 6, 12, 18 months. Whereas a HISA will always have.
Yes. We are not the banking channel. And I mean that as just in the most non-judgmental way. We don't super talk about banking. There are some great resources on YouTube for banking.
RJ Financials Run on the Banks would be great for finding banking products. There are a bunch of folks who do have it. I just know the simple basics of like CD versus HISA.
Right.
But I can't go in depth as to like what HISA is better than what other CD, the amount of money that you're willing to put in CD, like the amount of risk that you're willing to take with a CD versus a HISA. Again, the CD, it is a lockbox. Your money will grow at that rate, but it's at that rate compared to the amount of time that you're actually keeping your money in the CD, because a 3.5% interest rate or like a 6% CD sounds awesome. But if it's a 6-month CD, you're only really going to get like 3% of your money because it's not staying in for that full year. So it is based on that timeline.
Yeah. Back at the ranch, to quote several of my relatives. I don't know why that's a thing. It is.
You just made that reference.
Yeah. Speaking of banks,
they're generally annoying. I went to the local Chase branch to get the Lunar New Year envelopes. I saw that. Yeah. They do that every year. So that's cool.
Yeah. I have been using Fidelity as my bank for a couple of weeks, and so far I haven't screamed, so that's helpful.
Always a plus to not scream at your banking situation.
Also, so one thing Fidelity does not do great is take pictures of checks for deposit. Like they even tell you probably don't want to do this with us.
That's encouraging.
But Ally Bank, which is my like backup, is fine with them. So I put it in Ally, use Apple Pay to move the money to Apple Pay, and then because I have my checking account hooked to Fidelity, I can move it to Fidelity from there. So it is easier than like it takes like a solid 3 business days if I transfer it, even if I push it from Ally to Fidelity. If I use the Apple Pay thing, it does it in about a day.
There you go.
So, because I'm moving it from a debit card to a bank Apple Pay, I don't have to pay on it. So,
yeah,
very cool. Yeah, anytime a bank does like that, I really want them to bring the Delta cards back with the plane designs on them.
They're out of planes to chew up for that. Like they've got to get rid of their CRJs and like start giving you premium cards based off of CRJ metal.
I mean, I have flown a CRJ more than any other plane.
You would appreciate it, but they would keep stock forever.
Look, again, part of the problem is that I am 5'8" and all of my co-hosts are tall, and other people who don't like them are also tall. Like, I don't have the physical issues that you guys have. I also like the one seat on one side because I can just sit by myself. So that makes me happy, right? Like those are just little things that is down to the person. Like the 900s don't bother me at all. The 700s really don't bother me at all.
Well, that must be great.
I'm not 6'2", Matt. I don't have to deal with your particular height.
Yep.
And I've slimmed, so I don't have to deal with the armrests. It's nice.
I'm like, I haven't been on a plane since starting my weight loss.
I do get to go to my very favorite lounge in about 2 weeks, though.
That's the Sky Club at LaGuardia.
It is. It is my favorite lounge. Every time I ride the escalator up, I feel very fancy. Like it is just you know, the little things when you travel.
Oh, for those solo travelers who are flying by yourself because reasons, and you have the Capital One Venture X, the Capital One landing at LaGuardia is opening next week. It's 13,000 square feet, and it's in Terminal B, and you can't get in with extra people unless you pay $125 a pop.
Yes. So
there's that.
I do have priority pass. I could check out a priority pass. I have like 2.5 hours. I won't, but I could.
You're not going to do that.
No. I'm going to go to my favorite lounge and I'm going to chill for a while.
Yep.
And then I'm going to get on a plane and go see my grandmother. Because I am a good grandchild.
There you go.
But yeah. Anything else you want to talk? Actually, APS one. Hold on. Let me scroll back up. So he wants us to theorize and explainerize. What credit card is the most profitable for each issuer on a per capita basis, excluding sub for, say, Chase, Amex, and of course, Wells? Why is it the most profitable? This is more a you question than a me question, but I'm interested. Oh, God. People are selling the envelopes on eBay.
I don't doubt it. What credit card is the most profitable for each issuer on a per capita basis, excluding sub, for Chase, Amex, and of course Wells? Why of course Wells?
Because you.
Yeah.
You are Mr. Wells.
I am Mr. Wells, apparently.
It would be great if your last name was Wells, just coincidentally. That would be funny.
Well, you know, my great grandfather started the company.
Now that would be a fun disclosure.
actually work out that it would be my great grandfather who would have started the company, but no, my last name is not Wells. But yes, based on my grandfather, it would be that. Anyway, so for Wells, I'm certain it's probably something along the lines of the active cash, not the active cash, or if they've still got the old Visa signature, like the Golden Ponies card and the SaveWise, just because the SaveWise they only have to pay out 1.5 on the SaveWise and only 1 point per dollar on the Visa signature. So I think if folks are still rocking those cards, those would be more profitable than the active cash. There are folks who carry balances, and those balances can be fair. Those balances can be relatively lucrative for Wells Fargo. I know that when I was paying credit card interest with Wells Fargo, both of my cards were generating them quite a bit of money. I put a banker's kid in college with the amount of interest that I put through those cards. Wasn't great. So the but where is that going? That I would say that the active cash, just because its payout is relatively low as compared to the autograph, and like 2% versus 3% doesn't sound particularly like a huge thing, but people spend far more on dining, and dining is a more consistent expense, and gas is a more consistent expense than, say, your telephone bill or your cable bill. Like those can get expensive, and they're getting more expensive because, well, everything's a fucking subscription now. But like, you'll go to the gas station, I will end up at a gas station more times per week than I will pay for my phone bill every month. Right? That's one charge versus 7, 8, who knows? So I would say for Wells, it would probably be the active cash. Wouldn't surprise me if it was the autograph, but I would say it would be the active cash. And it really wouldn't surprise me if it was one of the old cards.
Does the autograph have foreign transaction fees?
Autograph does not. Every other card does. Autograph and Autograph Journey do not.
Okay.
Every other card does. I have used Upside. I've got about $18 sitting in my Upside account. When they switched off of just being able to like use your card and not have to upload your receipt, and when I was doing it at Speedways, if I used my Speedway card to save 7 cents per gallon, the 7 cents per gallon negated whatever I was getting on Upside. I kind of like stopped using it. I need to get back into using Upside, but yes, I do use Upside from time to time. I'm not getting huge discounts on it. Chase, so going back to most profitable, Chase, I'm going to say the Freedom Unlimited. There's a reason that card has not been updated in as long as it existed, because it's got the payment structure that it's got. They're only paying out 1.5. A lot more people, they have a ton of those cards in circulation. A lot of those people are not travel people in terms of like leveraging their ultimate rewards for pooling with the Sapphire Preferred and whatever else. And in the rare cases that a lot of those folks will travel internationally, they forget that card has a foreign transaction fee. So for Chase, I think their most profitable card would likely be the Freedom Unlimited.
I could see it being the Flex too.
I could see it being the Flex, especially if folks don't or forget to turn on their categories. Like, that's the thing I hate about the Flex and the Discover It, is you have to turn on the categories. If you don't turn on the categories, you don't get the
at least
rewards. At least Chase
will retroactively, right?
Yes. Chase will give you until the 15th of the last month of the quarter, and then they will go back and retroactively add your rewards, which is great. And like, the reason to hold the Freedom Flex over the Discover It.
But still, you shouldn't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
To
like
me,
with the Cash Plus and the Shopper Cash, if I don't re-up it every quarter, it has decided I suddenly don't want the things that I've already done.
yeah. And the Elan versions of those cards,
I don't I don't think it's a slate.
the slate they're getting all the interchange fee and they're not paying anything out. There's that. But I don't think the slate's going to be super profitable for them. Amex is a weird one.
I think it's a platinum.
Given how easy it is to get a platinum, I would imagine that it's platinum.
I don't think it's because of that.
Well, no, I
I
think it's because
know
it's a $900 annual fee, and there are a lot of people who use it for everything, who think of it as a status symbol, who swipe it and don't think about the 1x on everything.
so here's the thing. I was talking to some people I know that work in tech, and it is ubiquitous there, and it's not necessarily that it's a status symbol. It's that they do genuinely fly a lot, and they don't want to, like, they're not people who want the complexity that we so desire, right? Like, they don't want to have to think about, they want the platinum for X, Y, or Z reasons, right? Just because
Mhm.
it's been recommended, because they do fly, so they want that, they want the purchase protection, they want X, Y, or Z.
Right.
And then they just use it because it's the first card in their wallet. And I think that cannot be I think that cannot be discounted, right? That, like, some people, like, they have 2 cards and that's it.
Yeah.
And one of those cards, like, gives them purchase protection, and one of those cards is a card that everybody else has, and there's some amount of status to that, but there's also some amount of just momentum of, this is just the thing you do.
Yeah.
And with the annual fee being what it is, and with the 1x on everything else, I do think that is also a thing. I think the Centurion is in a weird place, because with the Centurion, you again, I was talking to somebody who works in tech who has this card, and he's like, I got them to do things that probably cost the company a couple of thousand to facilitate, that I did not pay that couple of thousand for.
Right.
I'm not going to go into details to protect this person. Like, it was nothing nefarious or illegal, right? But, like, the concierge can get things done in ways that, like, you're going to pay for the service. You're not going to pay for what they had to do to get that done. And the Centurions is different than the Platinum concierge. So I think that's interesting, that I think it's an interesting, I think the private cards, the, the Reserve, with Chase, the Centurion with Amex, are in weird places. Um, because if you regularly use the concierge, you actually might not be as profitable as, I think the Delta Reserve could be one, depending on if you use the companion pass.
Yeah.
The Platinum, the Delta Platinum as well. I do wonder how, like, the Blue Cash Preferred, the $95 one, because the caps are so low on that card.
Maybe. Because you can blow through the 10K. No, it's 6K.
6K.
Yeah, you can blow through that pretty quickly.
The Blue Cash Everyday is a great card. The Blue Cash Preferred's not a bad card if you stay under the cap. Like, if you're somebody that doesn't spend a lot on those categories but sends something, the 6% is nice. But, like, for most people, the caps are a bit low.
Yeah. I stupidly appear to have my what do you call it? Amazon attached to my to my Hilton card, and I'm not happy about that.
I have my Amex attached to my Blue Business Plus because I moved 1 point and got $48 off of something.
Yeah, but I thought I only limited my what do you call it, to just the Attune. Turns out I may not have, and that is going to change tonight.
It happens.
All right, but Matt, they just charged me.
We've hit 2.5 hours.
Yep.
Is there anything else you would like to talk about tonight? We still got 37 people, so we're still rocking. If you guys want us to keep going, I wish that it was 5% back on Costco because I love me some Costco, but it is not.
It's 2, and you can make it 4 if you pay for the executive membership, but
yeah,
you got to do that, and you still only cash out at Costco.
Yeah,
I don't think you cash out once a year as opposed to other things, but it's still just annoying.
Yeah.
I cleared my cookies a number of years ago, not years ago, a number of months, a number of days ago, and I forgot that I hadn't signed back into Amazon. So that's fun. Anyway, sorted there. The business one does, I don't think it's the same cap, so I don't think the cap is significantly higher. Manage my membership. Okay. Wait a second. Then how did my card get spent? How did my card spend 150? What?
We'll figure this out offline, Matt.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I just don't want you to say a thing that you don't want on the internet forever. Trying to prevent words.
No, it's fine. It's got my preferred payment method. Okay, so now I have to talk to Amex. Now I really have to talk to Amex.
Yeah.
Hooray. All right. Anyway, pretty much copy and paste the personal version. Lame. That's like the Huntington Voice Rewards card, where the normal Voice Rewards has like 4K per month or 4K per quarter, but the business version is 7K per quarter. But that card is still remarkably good, and it gives you discount stores, which is awesome.
All right, everyone. We've done our 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we've done a podcast length version of the live.
But we will say goodbye for now. We will be back on Monday. Yep. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the full episode out again, I think. People seem to like it. I might, depending on my mood, split them for
members.
I might, depending on my mood, like I said, depending on when I start editing. But we'll go from there. Yeah, thank you guys. 37 still at 11 o'clock at night. Also, if you're a Diamond member, you can watch us record live. We put the link in the Diamond chat. If you want to watch us record live, which we would just be starting now, we would be going through the rundown now. You can watch us every Monday. I don't know. Oh, you can. Sorry.
You can. It's just.
They're also going to flag things like, because getting a lot of cash actually sets off different fraud markers, like the human kind. So yeah, anyway, we will record Monday. I believe Lonnie is back this week. And then go from there. Matt, any final words? I'm gonna play Matt for a second on the podcast. Any final words this week?
No, I got nothing. I feel like our Bilt discussion was a little bit more productive than usual.
Yes, this show is live.
Yeah, so we record the show live 11 p.m. Monday nights. We record it live for Diamond members, and we have the live recording available to Diamond members. They get to see pretty much everything. They get the raw, uncut version, and then we cut it down for members and the general public, and we go from there. Interested to see what merch looks like, and from there, yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Yes, I am very interested. Also, go to sackyourpoints.com and you can find links to Matt's channel, to my channel, to Lonnie's channel. You can find links to how our memberships work if you would like to know that. You can find all of the things. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night, y'all.
Bye.